is not like a storyline of the show. It's got nothing to do with real estate. It's just like massive beef that people have with each other.
Do you feel like the people who you are enemies with on the show are the ones that are just like trying to get the screen time all the time?
It's not just about screen time. They are social climbers. They are desperate for screen time. They're not genuine people.
Not only are you a star, but you guys move real estate.
We do. That is a common misconception. It's like, she doesn't sell real estate. She doesn't work hard. Everything's just landed to her in her lap. This is like overnight success, yeah, but it's taken me 10 years to get here. I'm not from money. I'm not from this kind of wealth. And so for me, I'm like, if someone's trusting me to sell their biggest asset, whether that asset's $500,000 or $5 million, I am like grateful for the opportunity, and I just want to do the best job no matter what price the house is.
Today's guest is shaking up screens on Selling the OC, and we're getting the real story behind the glam, the drama, and the hustle. Is the beef with the co-stars legit, or is it all just made for TV? What is it really like working for Jason Oppenheim and the Oppenheim Group? Spoiler alert, it's not all cocktails and commissions. From marriage and heartbreak to thriving post-divorce, we're unpacking the moments that have made them stronger. And of course, dating in the spotlight, because finding love when everyone's watching is a whole different game. Whether you're here for the tea, the triumphs, or just behind-the-scenes scoop, you're in for a wild ride. Let's get into it.
I love you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. I love you guys. This is so exciting.
No, we appreciate you being here. Okay,
And taking time out of your day.
Yes.
For us.
I want to dive right in to the juicy stuff.
Yeah, piping hot tea.
Yes.
Heard it here first. What do you want to know? I'm an open book.
So is there as much drama off camera as there is on camera?
More.
Okay.
100% more. There's certain things that production or, you know, is not like a storyline of the show. It's got nothing to do with real estate. It kind of is not. It's just like massive beef that people have with each other. And it's just not, you can't really follow it because it's very, you know, it's this and it's this and it's this. And some of it is show related.
Yeah.
So they're not going to show that on the show because it's kind of like, you can't talk about Fight Club on, like, you don't want to break that fourth wall and talk about the show stuff. So if, for instance, you know, he who shall not be named, Sean, is desperate to get screen time, and he's like doing everything that he can, making up lies,
stirring
like,
shit,
being a fucking psychopath, to get screen time. Like, the beef on the show that you see is cut so that, you know, we're saying, Sean, you're just doing this for
It's
screen
like a
time.
dumbing down
We're not
version,
fucking
right?
doing this. But they can't show that because they don't want to show that. So, yes, there's a lot that got. But no one, honestly, like, he's disappeared. He's like exiled from, I don't know what he's doing. Don't know
from
where.
Uncle Netflix?
I think he is exiled from
he's out of the will.
Uncle Netflix. He's been taken out of the will, which, you know, fine by me. I mean, honestly, it was a shame.
Do you feel, well, like, we know you and you're like such a genuine person, you know? So do you feel like the people who you like are enemies with on the show are the ones that are just like trying to get the screen time all the time and they're not the genuine people?
Yeah. Well, it's not just about screen time, but it is, you've hit the nail on the head. It's like, they're just shitty people.
They're not good enough on their own that they have to fucking stir the shit.
You know, just shitty people. Their moral compass is off. They are social climbers. They are desperate for screen time. They will, you know, they're not genuine, you know, people. You know, I'm super lucky and grateful that the core group that we've got is so tight. You know, at this point, we've done 3 seasons. We have, you know, kind of been through a lot of, like, it feels like you're in a washing machine.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my God. And you don't really understand it until you're in it. And even like, you know, Jason and Mary, Chriselle, Nicole, who I'm close with from Sunset, even they can't really relate because they've done it. It's almost like, it's like when you're at the dentist and it's horrific in the moment, but then afterwards you're like,
That wasn't so bad.
You know,
what's the horrific part for you? Like watching yourself on TV after, or when you're in it filming?
It's the lack of control that you get.
Narrative?
The narrative and the way that the
It's
public
fun.
react.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in the world. There's many millions of people that watch this show. It's very successful, which is great. It means that we can continue. You know,
Yep.
you're never going to please everyone, you know, whatever. And there's a, you know, for as many people that, you know, understand your point of view and are like, yeah,
You're
fuck
not
them.
ever
Yeah,
going to be
there-
everyone's
there's-
cup of tea.
there's-
There's the
opposite.
other half that's like, oh my God, you know, whoever is the best. Like, and it's like, that is mind blowing to me because I'm like, these are terrible people.
Dude, I remember when
Like, these are terrible people.
3 was
Yeah.
over or no, 2 was over. I forget which one it was, and I went through and like you guys had just released it and the
Right.
comments on your guys' shit. Oh,
Oh.
my God. I literally fucking showed
Was
up
that
for the
hard
comments.
for you?
No, season 1, it was because it was overnight. It was literally overnight,
It was
and
overnight.
they dropped Netflix drops the whole season like at
People were
once.
binge watching it.
So people binge it over
Yeah.
the space of 8 hours, and then keyboard.
So literally
warriors
your
or
world
whatever.
changed in one night.
Yeah, and it's global. So there's no like, 9 to 5 you get shit,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
everyone like logs off for the day. It's like all around the world, people
Different
are,
time zones.
It's just like
Yep.
it was so much, but also it was so much really good stuff.
Yeah.
People saying like, oh my God, I have just left my husband who was cheating on me, and like you've given me inspiration that I'm not gonna, curl up and fucking die.
Yeah.
And like,
There's another side
and
to
it was
this.
just like so emotional, being like, oh my God, this is actually, we as like lighthearted and as like silly, reality TV is, it actually really does inspire people and show people that, kind of anything is possible, you know?
I mean, you're pulling back the curtain on people's lives, and what most people, their perception of reality TV, and just now that we kind of had a front row seat for it the last 4 seasons, being so close to all you guys and through Justin.
3 seasons.
3 seasons. Well, 3 seasons. I got it wrong. My
So
bad.
far. So far.
Yeah, so far. Who knows?
Can I confirm or deny?
Yeah, okay. But what's going on behind the curtain is actually fucking true.
Yeah.
And like the misconception that people may have about like selling Sunset or selling OC or $1 Million Listing or whatever, it's like, oh, they're not listing those. Like, those are all real listings. These are all real transactions. We're talking about like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of transactions that are done within like your guys' season. Yes, there's drama attached to it. That is part of what they're trying to accomplish there. But you guys are selling legitimate assets in the most beautiful area in maybe the whole world.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the most desirable spots in the world.
The whole world.
We are
It is.
so
Yeah.
lucky to live here.
So
We're
lucky.
so lucky to live
And
here.
I'm so lucky to be able to, sell real estate here. A common misconception is that, I'm on the show, I don't really sell real estate. I don't you guys know firsthand. Me and
Oh,
Justin.
yeah, I know how
You guys slay.
for sure.
Like, we're business partners. He took me
Yes.
under his wing. We were the first hires at the new office. The office hadn't even opened yet.
No, you work your
was
ass off.
still studying for my license. He'd been in the business for nearly a decade. He wanted an assistant. I needed a mentor. We connected like so well. He's like a big
Totally.
brother to me.
Justin's
He's
not on the
such
show.
a great
Yeah, he's
teacher. He's
amazing.
so patient.
Yeah.
And
I want to hear about that story. So how did Jason find you? Because it's funny, when Justin was on, I know you guys had the interview the same day.
yes.
At the same time,
Well,
and neither of you knew it, but how did you even get the interview? Like, how did you meet Jason?
Okay, very serendipitous, which has been honestly a running theme throughout my life. And it's kind of like, when, multiple times I've been down and out, helpless, hopeless, whatever, something happens and I'm like, oh, cool. And it's like pivot, and then my life goes a whole different direction. And it's always like I land on my feet, but there's a lot of like rolling
Turbulence.
around on my arse before that. It's not just like, oh, this and then this. It's like, no, there's a lot of fucking shit. And then it's like,
Will you say
oh,
ass
okay.
again?
Arse.
Okay. I'm here for that.
So I was in LA for 9 years before I moved down here. In the space of 9 years, I moved 11 times.
Why?
I had trauma, like different traumatic events of
11 times in LA? Or
yes.
okay.
In 9 years, I had to move 11 times,
Really?
which was
I didn't know
not my plan. I came over, married, excited about, my American dream, and I was going to have beach babies, and it was going to be like, you know, whatever. I got my visa sponsored by Ford modeling agency. I've been a model forever. I'd never done anything else. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll, you know, get into acting and then, you know, have a few kids and, you know,
Live life. Live the California dream.
did not work out like that.
It never does.
No,
Funny how that works.
It's, you know, I'm not religious, but, you know, people say you make a plan and God laughs in your face. Well, it was like hysterical fucking laughing in my face for years. But yeah, so 2020, at that point, my divorce that had lasted 4 years had just ended. And I was like, thank God. Like, I just needed this to finish.
When did you guys separate?
2015. So the divorce took 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And during that time, I had to stop modeling. He left me in a really difficult spot financially, completely fucked me over, literally left the US. And then I did tell immigration, you know, his true character, and so he got blacklisted from America for 10 years. Like, he still can't enter any point.
Was
of
he a
entry.
British citizen?
Yes.
Damn.
He was on my visa, so I was like,
gotcha.
okay, bye. No,
Did a part of you want to leave and go back home?
no, I had my dog.
You already had a life here. You felt like
I had a life here, but honestly, I was so shocked that it was like home for me. I left home at 16.
Yeah.
So I had lived in Paris, Milan, Barcelona, London, all of these places by myself, you know, for 10 years before that happened. So home for me is a village in the north of England. Like, that wasn't an option of me going back there. Like, so yeah, I stayed, whatever. So 2020, at that point, I had 3 jobs. I was managing a restaurant. I was still auditioning for modeling, which after my divorce, I then could be available to go to castings and stuff. And I was doing some remote work for a property company where I was kind of managing renderings for, you know, boring, whatever. And then the pandemic happened, and I lost all 3 of my jobs overnight. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I am in so much debt from my divorce, which I won, but I still was in like 100 grand's worth of debt.
And attorney fees?
Yeah. And just like, just to live, I was working 3 jobs to not even make rent and bills. So it
just
was
to
kind
pay
of
off
like,
your debt.
No, just to like,
survive,
pay, you know, rent and maybe one of
Break even.
4 bills.
Yeah.
And so it was like I was just constantly chasing
and
my
this
tail.
never-ending circle.
Yeah. And I,
Girl.
you know, was like, okay, well, I didn't need another job. So I got an evening job bartending after my daytime job, you know, whatever. And I was just burnt out, exhausted, and felt really bitter about life, actually, because I was just like, this is not going to be my life. Like, this is bullshit. And I can't seem to get out of this.
Do you feel like you could not move on from your divorce until like he left, and because it sounds like it dragged on for so long?
He left within 2 days of me catching him with 2 sex workers. So he left.
He literally hired hookers.
Right.
You're right. How did you find him?
On his phone. It was like he was a poker player. He was a poker player, which, you know, surprise, surprise, that didn't work out. It turned out to be a liar. But yeah, he came back from Vegas, had lipstick on his collar, and I was just like,
what a fucking idiot.
No, but for me, I was like, he could go to strip clubs. I was like the coolest fucking wife. I was like, there's no.
You're like, I'll go with you.
I mean, you're the coolest business
Well,
partner.
I was just
how cool
like,
you are.
yeah, you can go to strip clubs. Like, my one rule is no private dances. Like, no, you don't need to do that. But yeah, fine, cool, have fun. And he had said to me, coming home from the trip, yeah, it was a really tame trip. Like, we didn't even go to a strip club, blah, 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 blah. So I get home, I'm doing his laundry, I find lipstick on his collar, and I'm like, my whole body was
like
just
you feel like a knife went in your stomach.
It was just like an out-of-body experience where I could hear him saying, we didn't even go to a strip club. And I'm looking at this lipstick on his collar.
That gives me the goosebumps.
And I go out to him and I'm like, what's this? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, no, I know what it is. Like, it's lipstick. And he was like, no, it's not lipstick. And I literally was like, okay. And so I did the laundry and I was like, okay, my whole body was like screaming.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is
Like,
not,
you knew.
this is not like,
This is not who I am. I'm not doing this. You're not doing this to me.
anyway, long story longer. He lied and lied and lied. Tried to, he did an update on his phone and lost everything on his phone. I never once had looked on his phone, but I was like, listen, I have to look at your phone. Can I look at your phone? And he's like, well, yeah, I've just done this update and I, lost everything, of course. And my brother, who is like an Apple genius, computer nerd, whatever, he's like, it's not really deleted. Even if you delete things,
it's in the cloud.
Not even. It's like you can buy software to retrieve deleted information. So I bought the software. It's called Dr. Wondershare or whatever, and tested it on my phone first. And it worked. And so my husband, he was staying at a friend's for a couple of days because things weren't great. And I was like, yeah, come back and, I need to talk to you. So he's like, I wish I could show you the things that, got deleted, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, actually, funny you should say that. I have this software and blah, blah, blah. And his face just kind of white flinched. And I'm like, this isn't a poker game. Like, I'm not calling your bluff. Like, I've done it on my phone and it works. So if I'm going to see anything on this phone, you just tell me now. There's nothing on the phone. There's nothing on the phone. Plug it in. And it was literally like 15 minutes of 10%, 15%, 20%. And he was like sweating. And we were like face to face at the table. And I'm like, I promise you, I'm not lying. If I'm seeing anything on this phone, tell me now, please. Nothing on the phone. I got to like 85%, and he stood up and went to the bathroom. And I was like, that's a really interesting time to need to pee.
85%.
And he came out and he stood behind me and he was looking at the computer, and we were both just staring at the computer, and it was like, and it got to 99% and thumbnails came up and the last 3 pictures of him fucking 2 women. And he like slammed the laptop shut and he was like, it's done. And I lost my fucking shit.
Him saying it's done, like you guys are done?
Oh, he knew that he knew that he'd just lied until
he knew that you were done. He panicked and he's like, hey, I'm done, like, bye. See ya.
Yeah. And I actually lost.
I mean, I could picture you losing your shit.
Everything was ripped off the walls. There was glass everywhere.
Well, because how long were you guys together?
From 21, and that was just before I turned 29.
Damn.
And I was just like,
what a piece of shit.
Terrible.
Well, I mean, when people lie, like those lies perpetuate, right? Then you have to remember your lies, and then they just compound.
Oh, anyway.
And
so
fast forward to Jason. Fuck that guy.
Right. So that 4 years was just like a complete.
That was riveting, by the way, because I've never heard that story.
Oh no, and I was just like, I lost my fucking shit. And before that happened, in my head, which now I'm like, oh my god, you're an idiot. I kind of thought, yeah, people make mistakes. If that happens, to us, friends or whatever had been through, cheating and stuff like that. And I thought, I probably won't leave him. But like, I'd be like really mad for a long time. And like, whatever. I was like, get the fuck out of America.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of America and don't come back for 10 years. So.
How long did it take you to get over that, especially with like a divorce lasting 5 years before it officially ended?
I think I was just on autopilot because I was so financially fucked. He left because I was the visa holder. I had everything in my name.
Fuck, dude.
The house, 2 cars, 2 insurance, 2 health insurance,
everything.
2 phones, and I was the breadwinner modeling. So I was so like fucked that I didn't look good. Like I was stressed out. I lost a ton of weight. Like my skin was terrible. I was just so stressed. I had to move out of my house. I had to go all of this stuff. So I wasn't booking any modeling jobs because I looked very sad. And And so that was when I was like, fuck, I need to, pivot. And I ended up working for a startup. And then I worked for an architecture firm. And then I worked at a dive bar. And then I managed a restaurant. And then I was the server in 4 different places. And
Is that how you met Jason? Was working in a restaurant?
No. So I'm a talker. This is, how long have we got?
Why aren't your nails matching your outfit?
I know.
What the fuck?
Well, I have a story about that because one broke and I needed to do like a fake nail.
Oh, okay.
And my outfit yesterday was this color, and
Got it.
I didn't.
Okay, you get a pass.
You're still pulling it
You
off,
get a
so
pass.
it's good.
Well, I did try and match the bag and the shoes, but yeah, usually everything is
Matches the nails.
So 2020, lost all 3 of my jobs. I was in LA. I was literally in a shitty 1-bedroom apartment with my dog Moose, and I was just like, well, that's it. This is how I die. Like, great. Like, that's it. And
Me and Moose.
LA was such a crazy time to be in the pandemic. People were walking around in hazmat suits.
It was scary.
It was like you couldn't, like, you had to. Not, you don't have to, but like everyone was washing their vegetables and bags and wearing like crazy stuff. And when
There
you're
still are,
in that
motherfuckers.
bubble, I was like, oh my God, this is like the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
And
It felt like that for
and
a
I'm
minute.
single and I'm broke and I don't know what the fuck am I going to do? Ended up smoking a ton of weed by myself for like 6 months, which
Love that for you.
actually was
Love
like,
that for you.
it was actually kind of like super enlightening that I was like, okay, this is actually the forced stop that I needed, because for the last 5 years I've been like, I just need to work more. I need another job and another job and another job. And I was working from 8
needed a
a.m.
break.
until 2 a.m. 4 days a week, and like doing the online stuff as well, like for the remote property company, whatever. And I was just like, okay, oh, this is actually really nice. like, And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing in LA? After 6 months, my, lease was up, and I was like, what am I doing in LA? Like, I'm done chasing that dream, like acting, modeling. I had 20 great years. Like, I've got great fun stories to tell my kids, grandkids one day.
Next
I lived in
chapter.
Paris. I lived in, I'm happily done.
Yep.
And like, I'm done. I am going to move to OC, and I'm going to get my real estate license.
Would you come down here a lot?
No, but I had one friend down here.
Okay.
And so obviously pandemic, it was like no one was traveling anywhere, especially in LA. And my friend who lived down here, who actually is from the same village as me in the north of
Are
England.
you guys still close?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
So she lived down here, and I visited her in like the September, which was like 6 months afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like this place is open.
Everything's open.
This place is open. Like people are living like normally, like what, like it was like such a mind fuck, because it's so close, but it was so
Different planet.
A different world.
it was a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
world.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I'm done with LA. Like this place is so beautiful. Like I'm gonna move down here. I'm gonna get my real estate license. I am gonna get a normal job. I'm gonna live a boring life. I'm gonna meet a boring guy. I'm gonna have like a
Just
normal
kidding.
Yeah.
fucking life.
Just kidding.
This is where the music stops.
And I really did try, and I really was happy with what
With your boring life you're going to live.
Yes, and I was just like,
That's so not Polly, I
that's
feel
gonna
like.
be so nice.
It's so
Yeah.
not
To have a
you.
white picket fence and a husband in finance and 2.4 kids, and I'll sell real estate and whatever. So came down here, got an apartment, and started studying for my license. And it was the end of the year. I think it was like December. And I'm big on New Year's. My New Year's resolution was like, okay, get your license, hang it with a brokerage. I knew that I wanted to start at a luxury brokerage. I didn't want to fuck around and like
Go to Compass.
start at the bottom and work my way up and like be in a white cube and like do that stuff. So if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to try and start at the top, and then if it's a no, I'll go down a level and try that. I'm not going to I've never been like that.
Yeah.
I've never been like, oh yeah, I'm going to schlep
Yeah, you're like, I want to go to
around
the
for-
best
yeah, right.
first, start at the
Right.
top and figure it out.
So, do my woo-woo things of like, yes, this is going to be my year, you know, whatever. So start studying for my online course, and literally 6 days later, I'm driving home. I live just, you know, around the corner from now my office, and I see that Hobie's surf shop didn't make it through the pandemic, boarded up. It had a sign saying the Oppenheim Group coming soon. And I literally just was like, oh, perfect, I'll work there then. Great. And I got home. And I went on the Oppenheim Group website. I had never watched Selling Sunset, but it's huge in the UK. Like friends, family, whatever, obsessed with reality
They knew
TV.
what it was.
Yeah. So I'd heard of it, obviously.
Yeah.
Like the brand is such a global, you know, phenomenon of a brokerage that, you know, obviously I'd heard of it. I knew it was luxury. And so I got home and I went on the Oppenheim Group's website, and I literally just cold emailed Jason saying,
Is his email just on the website?
well, yeah, he's a broker. He's a like mine is.
Yeah.
Polly@ogroup.com if you want to sell a house. Like,
Email
me.
Polly.
Here's my email.
So yeah, I emailed him, and knowing him now as closely as I know him, it's wild how this even happened. So I emailed him. I was very smart in my email. Fluffed it out of like, you're an amazing entrepreneur, like, you know, blah, 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 blah. I've just started studying for my license. I was...
Did you attach a photo?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go.
But that was like my ending. But I started off...
Jason's like, interview.
I started off by saying, like, I've been a model for 20 years. I'm looking to get I'm studying for my real estate license. I'm originally from England. And then obviously blah, 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 blah. Attach a photo. So I tell him that I used to be a model for a long time.
Yep.
I have an accent. And here's a picture of me.
Yeah.
And he replied within 20 minutes. And he was like, I'm actually checking on the construction at the office. It's like a building site right now. But yeah, come down, meet me for a chat, and, you know, we'll see. I'm not hiring... You know, because I was like, I would love to be involved in any capacity. You're building out your office. I understand I'm not even licensed yet.
Like,
so
I will
if it's
slave.
like, if it's an assistant, a social media person, because I've managed social media things for other brands, and like,
no, that's what like I respect about you, because
I
you're
was
like,
just like,
I
I'll
will
do
do
anything.
whatever I have to do, but like a lot of the people that you see like don't do those things. You know?
For me, I was like, also I wanted to, in my head, like, my career was real estate. I had no idea about the show. I didn't know they were going to do a second show. Not one part of me thought, ooh, maybe they're doing another show. I was like, no, I want to be in this office, surrounded
and I want to learn from the best.
Like, you learn by osmosis, you know,
Absolutely.
being around the language, around the people who are getting shit done. It's inspiring. And I wanted to be in the mix. And I was like, I know I'm not qualified for this, but I've got enough life experience that I know that I'm going to be fucking great at this job. So
It's amazing.
That's all someone needs to hear too.
Yeah.
Confidence, that's all somebody needs to hear.
It doesn't
I would
matter who
rather
they are.
have
It could be
somebody
Jason.
like that than somebody qualified.
it does teeter.
Who doesn't have that attitude.
Yeah, it does teeter sometimes on delusional, but it works
That's
out.
even better.
Yeah,
That's better,
it's like, oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
have to be
yeah, I can
delusional.
do that.
Dude.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can be, you know,
You have to be delusional. In
Yeah,
a way,
I am.
your
feel
hopes and
like.
dreams have to be so big that you're almost convincing somebody else.
Oh, and people like my friends and family literally are just like, of course you've done that. Of course. Anyway, so I meet him the next day.
Well, because they know you're crazy.
Yeah.
And I meet him the next day, and he's just like, okay, yeah, I mean, you're gonna be great, you know, whatever. So, and I'm like, okay.
You're hired.
You know, get studying, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm actually going to lunch to interview an agent who I want to bring on. Do you want to come? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Free lunch. Poor as shit. Yeah, sure. Great. I didn't know how I was going to meet today. Ding.
Where'd you guys meet? Zinc, right?
Went to Zinc.
Think, yeah.
And Justin pulls up, and
What was your first impression?
Head to toe.
I can't remember. I actually can't remember.
Really?
But I remember sat at this lunch, and Jason Oppenheim and Justin Itzen are interviewing each other, because it was a big risk for Justin to leave his brokerage and move to a new brokerage, you know, out of his comfort zone. He built a really solid book of business, you know, whatever. So they're interviewing each other, and I'm just like,
I could
okay.
like see it going
Yeah.
down right
So
now.
it was like,
Justin
no.
in like his soft-spoken way, just like sitting across from Jason. Jason just like
No, they were like, you know, showing each other that they were both businessmen.
in business.
Yeah.
So, you know, end of the lunch, they, you know, shake hands. Yeah, would love to work for you, whatever. And I'm like, and they look at me and they're like, oh, you're in. And I'm like, yeah, but you know that I'm not licensed yet. And they both just went, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And so then it was like 6 more months of Jason, of the office being built and Jason hiring other agents, you know, and building out his team before the office actually was, the physical location was ready.
So when you guys left there, you knew you were going to work there? When you left that lunch?
Yes.
Okay.
I got my contract through like within 48 hours. I had to like, you know, but I wasn't licensed yet. So it was like, when you are licensed, you're going to hang your license here. And I'm like,
Let's go.
already got a luxury brokerage, like
Yeah.
licensed yet.
Yeah.
This is great. And me and Justin had exchanged contact details, and he reached out and said, hey, like, I know that was like a bizarre kind of first meeting, but like,
I love him.
you know, do you want to go for a lunch at, it was on Lido, the other Zinc.
Okay.
Zinke.
The Zinke.
Yep.
So we went there and I was like, yeah, I just want to learn like as much as I can. And like, you know, I'm happy to do, you know, if like I can shadow you. And he was like, well, I actually am looking to hire an assistant. And I'm like, don't do that. I can do it. I'll do it for free. I'll do it for free. I want to learn. And so I think he, you know, it took him a while for me to earn his respect that I wasn't just
Another pretty face.
just like
Yeah.
that. I actually will drive
willing
out
to work
to Chino
your ass off.
and do
Yep.
the open houses
Yeah.
and do this and like schlep around and wait in inspections and like do all of the stuff because his volume is so big that it's the time.
It's funny.
Yeah,
I
he's
feel like
almost-
from the beginning, he felt that way about you, though.
Yeah. I was
Like
just gonna
us
say
being
that.
on the other side.
right.
I felt like
we hear
from the
everything.
beginning,
Yeah.
he like took you seriously, and she's like, she's got
Day
it.
one.
Like,
Yeah.
literally
I mean,
day
I
one.
remember
That's
like
nice.
damn near
Yeah.
day one. He was like, dude, she's fucking legit. She's gonna
Yeah.
be really good when she gets on her own. Like,
Well, I
right.
kind of thought like, ooh, I like, not that, like I still do that shit now. I still will drive to, you know, Temecula or
And be at the
Chino
open
and
houses.
do the open houses and, you know.
Do all the other agents in the office do that?
No.
No.
Fuck no.
Especially people on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. So the
Special-
people on
special
the show
breeds.
won't do that anymore.
I think certain people who are on the show,
Who takes real estate seriously on the show?
Gio,
Okay.
very seriously.
I can see him
at
taking
a certain level. I
Yeah.
mean, he's not going to take a, you know, $750,000 condo seriously, whereas I still would. You know, but he takes his business very seriously. He does really well, and it's well deserved. He's a great.
Who takes
agent.
it the least seriously and only cares about being on TV?
Oh, there's a few.
Name them all. Spill the beans, girl.
I think people, for instance, I think Kayla thinks she takes it very seriously, but I have heard otherwise. On, you know, I've not been involved in transactions that she's been on, but yeah, apparently it's kind of, you know, the grunt work is not done.
Like she just shows up and expects to sell a $20 million house.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, she has done that before. So I've heard. You know, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Who else? I mean, in my opinion, Jarvis is
She's not a part of it anymore, right?
thankfully no.
Okay. When did she move on?
When
After season-
she
The last season?
fucked everyone over and realized that she had no friends left.
Damn. So she just kind of went through everyone?
Yeah.
That's kind of how they depicted it, right?
Yep.
The show, yeah.
Yep.
That's real
it's
life
weird
shit.
because I feel like she was like depicted to be like a hero on the show.
it's-
That is what was such a
And-
mindfuck season one, because it was
Season
like,
one,
this
yeah.
girl is like a
From-
social climber.
From
Yeah.
an audience
And she
perspective,
doesn't sell
though,
real estate. She's
Yeah.
using Rose to get on the show. Because originally her and Rose were not cast on the show. they did not make the cut to be
They like pushed their way
cast.
on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, good for them, you know?
Yeah, good for them.
I'm like, well, at the time, it was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like, no. But now it's like,
I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't
Wait,
get...
I remember in Justin's
like-
backyard, were like these two fucking girls.
I was like, you didn't get cast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. So, you know, they managed it. Hats off to them. But
it's-
it was very clear that she was not Rosie's friend. She did not like her, and she was using her because she needed her to get on the show.
I can't believe people can't see that though
Right.
from watching the TV.
I know.
Who's genuine and who's
But
not. It's like
there-
as clear as day.
But there is a lot of people in the world, and there's a lot of people in the world who
We're also
are,
close to it.
is
We're biased.
unfortunately like her.
yeah. It's
So it's kind of like if I was
so unappealing.
you
See,
know-
I can see that because we're close to it. We're biased. We know what's going on behind the curtain,
Right,
obviously, right? But the way they produce it, the
Yeah.
way they edit it, they give it some ambiguity both ways.
I
They
don't
have
think
to.
so.
No-
But maybe I guess it's 'cause we do.
eventually there's a hero and a villain, but
Yeah.
like it's like a movie. The way they edit it, they're professionals. It's
yeah.
Netflix. The way they edit it, they make it so it's like
Yeah, Adam DeVillo is a genius in
Yeah.
terms of, you know, giving people each person on the show has their
roll.
fan base,
Yeah,
their haters,
yeah.
their role on the show. And if it gets to a point where, you know, any of those things are lacking, then
You don't have a show. Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally
They're
don't
out.
have a show.
Yeah.
which
Who
You know
pushes your buttons the most?
oh, Jarvis. Oh, she did.
Okay.
She just
Past
annoyed.
tense.
She just because it's so frustrating to me that
Like know-it-all.
very, very condescending.
Mhm.
And I've seen shit that this girl's done that is highly inappropriate with married men and like, you know, whatever. But my problem is I get hysterical because I get so frustrated that I'm like, no! And she's just like smug and silent.
I feel
and
like
that
she's
kills
so
me.
monotone. Like, does
Yeah.
her voice ever go up and down in any situation? But it's like in such a condescending way.
Yeah, it's,
right?
so I mean, thankfully,
I'm smarter and more calm than you.
know, doubt that. I honestly doubt that I'll ever see her again.
Does
Certainly,
she live here?
I believe so. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I certainly won't work with her again. You know, obviously she's not continuing with the show,
Yeah.
and
So the show's
I
continuing.
Don't think.
Yeah.
Cannot confirm or deny. Next year is exciting.
Yeah, you're gonna have a big year next
Yeah.
year.
Next year is exciting.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of things. Obviously, can't talk about
Can you
it.
hint anything?
I have been working on a couple of things this year that people may see
Next year. Love it.
Copy.
Okay.
But yeah, I will. Yeah, next year's gonna be fun. Next year's gonna be fun.
We'll get back to you next year. on that one.
Do you ever watch yourself on TV and you're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that or I shouldn't have
No.
said that? Or do you
I
just,
honestly,
because I know you and you just own it.
I just
like,
agree with myself because I know
You know
the
you.
before, the after, why I'm reacting like that. So if you know someone who doesn't know me or doesn't know the story or wasn't there in the full argument, whatever, is like, oh my god, this girl's fucking hysterical.
Context.
It's insane. For me, I'm like, no. I 100% agree with myself.
But
I do. I like.
Because
I just am
you're
like,
comfortable in your own skin, and all that's all about context.
Yeah,
The way
and
that
so
shit's
I
edited.
have like yes, I do watch the show. We get screeners the week before it comes out, so that we can kind of see.
Oh, you see it all to mentally prepare.
Yes.
But dude,
Got
you
it.
guys are all human beings
I didn't
with
know
real
that.
human emotions.
Yeah.
All these transactions are real.
Yeah.
Everything is real. This is like the drama that, you know, anybody and everybody has with friends and family and whatever. It just happens to be captured on camera.
Yeah.
Well, and like he
And
said, you're
magnified.
so comfortable in your own skin and you're
Dude, you're
so
one of the most comfortable
genuine.
people I've ever met in their own
Yeah,
skin.
like
Yeah,
you're
I mean-
so genuine
Yeah.
that it's like you own what you say and what you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, and I honestly, I just am like, okay, fine.
Whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't
Don't
agree
like
with
me.
then
fuck
I,
you.
Yeah.
if as long as I agree with myself, and there's not been any, all of the conflict and arguments and argy-bargy and like whatever happens on the show, like I have not watched anything that I have thought, shit, I was wrong there.
Like that you lost sleep over.
Yeah, no.
Good.
No.
Good.
And I'm just like, yeah, like I
You own it.
Yeah, whether you understand why I'm doing that or not, if it makes, if you're entertained by it, like the producers seem to be super happy with me being by myself, and I am comfortable with who I am portrayed to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I am not playing a different character when the cameras are rolling. I'm not anyone else. Like and that was the biggest concern for me.
You're the same exact human.
That was the biggest concern for me before this came out, because I didn't know what it was going to be, and I thought, oh my god,
like how so? You didn't know how you were going to feel, or
I just didn't. We filmed so much footage.
Yeah,
like we film 4 or 5 days a week. 8-9 hours a day for 4 months.
Oh, you didn't know how you were going to be portrayed.
So it's like so much shit happens.
Yeah.
They have so much content.
Like, what are they going to use?
I just didn't want a situation that I'm going to be on this global TV show, and anyone who's ever met me or knows me or friends or family, whatever, is like,
that's not her.
God.
Do you feel like your world literally changed overnight? Like you sitting here, because like our perspective is like you literally went from an unknown to, like you said, being on TVs across the world overnight.
I guess.
Do you feel that?
No.
Or you don't?
No. And I think
you're just like, I'm on TV.
Yeah. But I think it's because it's definitely a new like leg to, entertainment and my history of being in that. But I've been in a couple of films. I was modeling for 20 years. I've been in a ton of TV commercials. It's not the first time I've seen myself on TV.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen myself on TV being myself.
But I think I'm in.
Yeah.
I like that.
It was always like 20. It was funny because 20 years I was like always pretending that I was someone else. Like acting, I had to work on my American accent, which fucking sucks. All of these different things. And I was like, it never really landed. I did a couple of like, decent
I feel like
stuff.
your best is yourself.
But it's like, it's so wild that like my biggest kind of success is literally me just being myself. And it's like, if I could have said that to myself,
for
in
those of us
dark
that know you,
days,
though, it's
just
like
been
we just see you as you. It's
Yeah.
funny, like.
And everyone has said that, which is like,
we only know you
you're
for you. It's like it's funny to see you guys on camera, and then it's funny to not see Justin there. Just like he's like,
I feel like that.
I know it's just funny to not see him there and like see all you guys there,
I know.
and knowing you guys, and it's like, oh, that's just them,
Yeah.
But to people around the world, it's like,
yeah.
oh my God.
Well, I feel like the people who don't like you are the ones that like don't have a fucking personality, right? They're just the boring people that like.
Honestly,
don't have a personality.
Like I do not even think about it, because it's like if you don't like me, if you don't like who you see on TV, you don't like me, because that's me.
Yeah.
So if you are not interested in my life, my work, what I'm doing, then I am not selling anything to you, and you're not my client. You're not my client base in any regard. So I'm gonna focus on the people that I am gonna sell stuff to. I'm gonna like who understand me and get me, and like who would want to be friends with me. That's who I'm gonna sell stuff to.
That's a good point. It's a good metaphor for just life in general.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck it. Throw the TV show out the window. Like, that's who the type of person.
And I am very, very aware that this is a fleeting, experience.
Like it's not gonna last forever.
No, not at all. And I went in being like that. I'm like, so.
This is great for now.
I'd been hired by Jason, and then like 2 months later, he's like, "Why is your Instagram private?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've just, I've got too many weird ex-boyfriends and husbands and shit. Like, I don't want them looking at what I'm doing." And he was like, "Well, put it on public, because we're doing a new show, and I want to introduce you to production." And I was just like, "Oh, fuck, I'm gonna be on this show. I know it. I'm gonna be on this show. I'm a new agent. I used to be a model. I'm very on brand for whatever."
Yep.
One conversation with Adam Revealer is like, great. And there was only me and Gio that got cast. There was probably 25 agents. They spoke to everyone. Me and Gio got cast. And then the other agents who were on the show actually were with other brokerages that they were auditioning, and they moved to
what
be
about
on the
Alex?
show.
Wasn't
she
was with somebody else?
Sotheby's.
And Austin?
Austin was with a brokerage in LA.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. They moved down
Yeah.
to Orange County.
So, it was funny that it was never my intention, and it was never my motive to join the Oppenheim Group to be on the show. So for me, I'm like, okay, fine. If we do one season, fun. Like, but now we've done 3 seasons. It's actually really nice, because
so far.
Yeah,
Not
so
only
far.
not only are you a star and like you're just obviously easy to watch, but you're also you guys move real estate.
We do.
You
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, I feel like we could
walk
vouch
the
for
walk.
that.
Yeah, we can definitely vouch
Because
for
like
that.
Yeah.
a lot of people watching, they're like that pretty face doesn't sell shit,
Right.
is on
English
the show, but like
accent,
you guys,
she's
you
fun.
really do like hustle your ass off.
Yeah, and
Dude,
that
you're
is
a hustler, man.
that is
Yeah.
a common misconception. It's like, she doesn't sell real estate.
Bullshit.
She doesn't, work hard. Everything's just landed to her in her lap. This is like overnight success, yeah, but it's taken me 10 years to get here of like dog shit.
One, I
Dude,
think
we've
people
gone to-
immediately assume like, oh, she's rolling in the millions
Yeah,
too, like
yeah.
immediately,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have
It's
to
like
work
any
her
other
ass
business.
off
Yeah.
anymore, and you're still out
Dude,
here like
we
working
showed
your
up to
ass
open
off.
houses with you there, fucking showing a condo after
Yeah.
the show was out.
Oh, and I still will.
This
On a
year.
Saturday.
I still will.
Yeah.
And I'm like, another misconception is that I'll only sell $50 million
No.
homes. I'm like, I mean, yes, I will. But like, if you've got if you've got,
Gladly.
go on then. But yeah, if you've got one that's, I know it sounds like a lot of money, $1 million is not a lot of money for a
It's
property
nothing.
here. Like as we
It's
know,
not
but
even
like
an apartment.
people, where I'm from, $1 million gets you a fucking
5-bedroom house.
mega mansion.
Yeah.
Like I'm not from money. I'm not from this kind of
Bubble.
wealth.
Well,
This
yeah.
is not reality.
No.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, I am never going to turn my nose up at any deal.
Mm-hmm.
If someone's trusting me to sell their biggest asset, whether that asset's $500,000 or $5 million,
I know you're amazing
am
for that.
I am like grateful for the opportunity, and I just want to do the best job, no matter what price the house is.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But, and people that know you or people that are doing business with you again know what they're going to get with you,
Yeah.
which is great, and they're going to get the best service. And you guys always go the extra mile for your clients.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
this is definitely a business that's all about relationships, and it's about trust and transparency and honesty. And I think, from my personal experience this week, some of the big hitting,
Go there.
agents
Go there.
in this town, you kind of think, oh, they, must do things by the book because I believe in karma, and if you fuck someone over, then it's going to bite you in the ass. But no, I got fucked pretty hard this week by a very established agent who poached
One of your
my
clients.
clients.
How
and
often has that happened to you?
Twice this year.
By the same?
No.
Friends.
Friends.
People that you thought were your friends.
Well,
Colleagues?
it's really difficult when it is friends because, the saying don't mix kind of business and personal. That's very difficult not to do as a realtor because our network is the people that we are friends with. It is our family. It is people
When
who
you guys are
trust
so
us.
If you're an
social
agent, you're
here.
selling your friends'
Yeah.
You're
houses.
social.
Yeah.
You're in the
Yeah.
same. You go out in the same places.
Yeah.
You mingle. You
Yeah.
network together.
And
So
it's-
it is hard.
And it's like we, love our people and we want to get them the best price for their house. We want to find them their dream home. It's that trust that's just ingrained. So it's when a friend either gets kind of conned into thinking that they're not going to be able to get their dream home if they're not being shown it by the agent.
A certain brokerage.
Which is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
And honestly, is a disservice that agent is doing to their seller. They have a fiduciary duty to
But like you
show
said, karma.
anyone who wants to. But yeah, so
it's gonna come back and bite them. And
but-
those shitty agents,
Yeah.
like you don't want to work with a shitty agent.
No,
When
and-
you see a shitty agent on a listing, you don't want to work with
yeah,
them.
and it's kind of like it's actually shocking how snaky and dog eat dog grown ass men are here who are big agents. It's pretty
But they have that
repulsive,
reputation,
actually.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, it only takes one time to start building a reputation.
Yeah.
I know
Right.
there's one brokerage specifically that Justin talks about often that he like almost will never do business with.
yeah.
You know who I'm talking
I'm
about.
familiar.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just like, and then I heard that again playing golf with somebody who's close to this
Yeah.
brokerage.
So people who are
recently,
not even real
and I'm like,
estate
oh my
agents.
God, these people don't even know each other and they're saying
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
things. This
But
guy's
it's
fucked.
really hard when,
He comes off as a
obviously
baller.
it's such an emotional purchase. People who are buying their dream home,
Yep.
people who are selling their family home, whatever. It's such an emotional kind of time in their life that I feel like they're vulnerable to people coming in and saying, oh, you can't have that unless you
Dangle
use
the
me,
carrot.
or I'm going to get you this, I'm going to get you that. And it's really, honestly, it's a bummer when it does turn out to be like, you just got fucking conned into, you know, I've shown you
This
property
happened-
for a year and, you know, very invested in finding you your dream home, and you've just kind of been conned so that this person can double end this deal. He's not going to represent you well.
Yeah.
He's not gonna flag up serious
Well,
fucking
everything
issues
that
that
you
he
just-
knows.
Everything that you just said, like, goes to show, like, how genuine you are. Because I feel like people don't look at real estate things, like, as a vulnerable situation. They look
Right.
at it as, like, I'm going to make this much commission on this deal.
See, I am
It's
not.
all transactional
I am
to
not
some
money
people.
driven, which is probably not a good thing for me to say. I'm not money driven.
Yeah.
I'm results driven. Like, that's it. Whether that's financial or not. Like, for me, I get the same amount of satisfaction if I do I'm involved in a project or a deal if I'm not getting any money, as if, you know, obviously security is nice, but that isn't my focus of why I do what I do.
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay, I'm switching gears. Are you single?
I am single, yes.
How-
I am single. I'm like, I know.
Have you had a serious boyfriend since you've gotten divorced?
Yes. So I had a serious boyfriend probably about 2 years after I broke up with my husband.
You were with him for 2 years or 2 years after?
2 years after, but my divorce was still going on. So it was a messy time in my life, finances, job. Like, I was like still scrambling. He also turned out to be kind of an asshole. And like, I was devastated, like broken, more so than my marriage ending. So I think I'd not really processed.
Was he an OC from OC or LA?
No, he was in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the darkest time, honestly, because I was just like, I kind of was like, oh, this is why my marriage didn't work out, so I could meet this person, and you know, blah blah blah. And then
So it
when
was just
that
another
ended
letdown.
so abruptly, I was like, whoa. And
Yeah.
it all kind of like the marriage, the boyfriend, I wasn't well for like a hot minute there. But then since then, I've had, you know, friends. I've done a lot of healing work on myself. Like, I'm quite woo-woo. So I knew that I wasn't quite ready to, you know, I wasn't ready to meet someone and do that.
Are you now?
I am. I have been since May.
Well, because I know you want to, like, do you still want to have kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I've got a couple of kids in my future. Like, I know I'm 38.
I see it for you.
But
It's happening.
I know it.
It's happening.
Like, I know it. They're just like,
well, and you're
you know,
so
whatever.
good with kids too.
I love kids, and
You're
I've
You
always,
are
so
good
good
with
with kids.
I love them.
You're like,
I-
so maternal. I told you this
Yes.
a couple weeks ago when I saw you. You're like,
yeah,
dude, you're such a mom.
You are. You're a mom.
Yeah, it's definitely in my future. But I'm not looking for a baby daddy. I am looking for a
Like
partner.
yes.
And you know, I'm not willing to settle. Like, I'm
Good for
really
you.
not. And I'm not panicking. Oh, I'm 38, I'm single, you know, whatever. I've dated a couple of guys this year, in the mind frame of like, okay, now I'm ready. You know, I have a lot of other stuff sorted out, and now I'm in a good place to actually, like, I don't need anyone to save me.
Do you feel
I'm
like
not
it's-
looking for financial support. I'm not.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it would be nice, but like, I don't need.
You're gonna
it,
find
you
that
know?
too.
Yeah,
I feel that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's harder to meet people now that you are on TV?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
find genuine guys?
Yes. Yeah. I've dated a couple of guys this year who were definitely Mr. Right Direction.
Okay.
Not Mr. Right, but Mr. Right Direction, and a very big change of what I have dated in the
That's
past.
good.
Even like friends, Justin, family have been like, this guy has a different vibe for you, and and I'm like,
We
yeah,
like it.
right? It's Mr. Right Direction, not Mr. Right. I mean, he'd had a vasectomy and he was vegan, so
What the fuck?
but it was Mr. Right Direction. So apart
No
from those
kids,
two things,
no kids, no steak dinners.
apart from those two
Fuck.
things. So yeah, I do feel like it is around the corner. I'm in a good place. I am, and I'm not willing to settle. Like, people are like,
Good for you.
maybe you're too picky.
Dude,
I'm
you're
like,
fucking perfection.
like,
You
I'm
should
not,
settle.
I'm not too picky. I don't want to be like like I'm
You're the full package. You do not need to settle.
well,
You don't.
I don't want to. And I honestly, if I don't find my person to have a family with, I fucking do it by myself. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not willing to settle in order to have a baby with someone just so that I have babies.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets to that point and I'm like, fuck, like this is a now or never situation. I'll do it by myself. Don't care.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, there's ways to do that.
Yeah.
There's ways to do that.
When you're out and about on the town, do like guys ever get inappropriate with you?
I enjoy a bit of like flirt, you know.
Yeah.
I'm very approachable. Like I'm quite a flirty person in general.
When you're not like standoffish, like you are approachable.
Yeah.
You have like a nice energy and way about you.
But if like I'm not gonna just like I'm not a people pleaser in that sense. I'm not like if it's not my thing, I don't engage.
Yeah. You're up.
But I'm very open to, you know, meeting people and, you know, I'm out a lot.
It's going to happen. Next year is your year.
I think it is.
With all the things going on, I feel like next year is your year.
I feel like such a clown because like every Christmas for the last 6 years, I'm like, this is my last Christmas alone. I'm just going to sit by myself. I'm going to eat pizza. I'm going to, you know, whatever. And now I'm like, oh, it's happening again.
No, next year is your year.
This is the last Christmas.
It is.
I mean, it's not a matter of if.
No.
It's
no.
Yeah.
For you,
and
for sure.
I had a realization the other day that, you know, this is the first year, like literally January to December, that I have lived alone in a good mental space with no debt, a career, multiple careers actually, like plans for next year. I'm excited about where I am right now, and I'm excited to meet someone and have that chapter open. Whereas I think before I was kind of fearful of it because I don't want to get hurt again. I always get hurt, never works out. People are assholes. And now I'm like, no, bring it on. I'm ready. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah.
What do you feel like life is like for you after, like, the selling OC's done? And are you see yourself here still? And
I like selling OC is like, you know, like I said, it's going to be a fleeting thing. Whether it lasts, you know, 2 years, 5 years, doesn't happen any longer. Great. Yeah. That was fun.
So this is home for you now?
Yes. Yeah.
Permanently. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, permanent is a very
permanent word.
A permanent word, yes. And I can't see myself living anywhere else. However, who fucking knows? I mean, I am an American citizen. But
that's amazing.
Like, if I meet the love of my life and he's like, oh, I live in fucking New York, I'll be like, okay, well, I guess we'll be bi-coastal. But like, this place is amazing. Like,
it is. There's no place better than this. Yeah. Like even when we go to like come back from Europe, like anywhere in the world, Cabo, like there's no place like this.
I feel like that kind of is a problem because it's like, you know, obviously you guys have kids, cutest girls ever. But like my thought of like having kids here, they're gonna think everywhere in the world is shit.
I know, they are.
Which for me, it's like I left home at 16 and I went and traveled the world to like find the best place.
Like
and
you
this
saw
is
the world.
It. So it's like, it's almost like my kids. I'm gonna have to send them to Europe and be like, you're gonna deal with some shit before you come back here. And you've got to see the world and like see how lucky you are to live here. Like, I think that's important.
No, we live in a bubble.
We went to a concert the other night in Anaheim. Obviously, it's not Newport Beach, right? And we're at the Garden Walk and we're walking through. She was like,
Chris is like, it's nice. I'm like,
it's actually pretty decent and nicer than I remember. And she was like, we're gonna get fucking shot, and we're just fucking literally 6 miles away. I'm like,
it's
oh
scary.
My God. But she was being serious too.
No.
I was like, let's get inside, dude. Well, we know a friend I guess not a friend. We know somebody like in our space that was literally followed home and shot in the head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because he had like nice jewelry on.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fair. That's a fair
in
story.
LA.
Well, LA is
it's just scary because you never know now, you know? Yeah. And like we're in a place where like you're targets. Like people look for people that have nice jewelry and watches on and they follow their asses home now.
Oh, Jason, our broker, he doesn't live in any of his houses that he owns in LA. He lives in an apartment with security. He doesn't.
I don't blame him.
Because of security.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't wear his nice, you know,
I don't blame him.
200 grand watches.
Yeah, it's scary.
You know, it's
Yeah.
really bad. I definitely left LA at the right time.
You
I had
did.
9
Yeah.
years there.
For sure.
And now I'm like, oh, I can't believe I spent 9 years.
Yeah. Like
Well, yeah,
hindsight,
there's no
though,
place
right?
like this. Yeah.
there's
What's
no-
next for you
Look at
guys?
this. Look out the fucking
know.
window. Sunset.
know.
The sun. I've been watching the sunset the whole
Perfect.
time as we've been talking. I'm like,
So
damn, this
nice.
is so beautiful.
Like, look.
And it's gonna be on camera.
I know.
Like
yeah.
your
Is
episode
it?
has the sun setting right behind
Oh
you.
yeah, say
Where
something
we
good.
live.
Fucking
Say
dope.
something fucking good
Like,
right
take a
now.
long look at that. They're rowing out there. Always see silhouettes.
Yeah.
Like we're staring at Lido Island right now. It's like this is
it's pretty.
this is a $10 million
selling
view.
Sunset sells Sunset Boulevard. We sell the sunset.
Look at
There we go.
We sell this sunset.
that's
It's very true.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
That's
there's no
fucking-
sunset.
That's
I
home
but
know.
they
for
couldn't
us.
have two selling sunsets, so fine. Selling
so-
sunset, fine.
We're so lucky. I'm so fortunate.
Yeah.
You're lucky and fortunate to sell real estate
honestly,
here.
like
You sell this.
I know, and honestly, it sells itself.
Totally.
You know, but yeah, there's some hustle that goes on behind the scenes.
There is, and you're for sure a hustler.
Yeah, we respect you. We care about you. We think the world of you, and we thank you for coming.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm
Today.
so excited about all of your new ventures and stuff.
Yeah,
And,
no, thank you so
you know.
much for being so supportive.
yeah, you are super inspiring as well, because I've got a couple of things that I've been like
Your nail
working
polish.
on. Yeah,
I want to do it with you.
Well, I've not.
I'll
like,
help you.
announced or said anything about it yet,
Okay, we can
because
cut that up, too.
I've got it all lined up, but like one thing or another this year, I'm like 90% there, and like getting over that last 10% to actually
I'll help you.
action it is so, I don't know what. Anyway,
Come in here
that's
for-
my thing next
yes.
year.
Come in for an
and,
hour.
yeah.
I'll sit down with you and
But
I'll help you with whatever you
literally
need.
are like the most inspiring person. It's like
Oh,
it's
thank
like you.
That means the world to
you
me.
know, with Spudsy.
Yeah.
It's just like you have the brain that I'm like, fuck, and you managed to
So
get
do
it over
you.
the edge. And
Yes,
I'm just
so do
like,
you.
I feel a little bit scattered, but I
It's
mean,
different.
Come in here anytime and I will help
Yeah.
you get your last 10%.
Yeah, she's definitely an expert in what she does, and she's an expert in a lot of things. You know, she can definitely help you get there if you have
Yeah.
an idea.
Nothing in
I-
return. I'll
Yeah.
tell you whatever you
No
want to
strings
hear and I'll
attached.
help
Oh my
you
God,
get
I
your
love that.
10% over there.
yeah, it's just getting things, because I'm so like I said, delusional. I'm like, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna
Well,
do that, and
hone
I
in.
action everything, and then it's like,
Yes.
oh
Yeah.
shit, oh shit, oh shit, this needs to be
Hone
finished.
in and execute.
Yeah, I'm not good at time management. I have a lot of
Yeah.
things
Ideas.
like that.
We have a lot going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I'll get
Okay.
there.
Well, you're the best. And thank you so much
Yeah,
for
having
coming.
me.
Of course.
This is so fun.
I'm so
Yeah.
excited for this one.
I know, it's good.
Wait, tell everyone your social handles.
You can find me on Instagram, Polly Brindle, and that's about it.
Oh, you can find her on Netflix too. Don't
Oh,
forget about that.
And you can find me on Netflix.
I always dun dun.
Yeah, you can find me on Netflix. You see a lot of me on Netflix.
You do see a lot of you on Netflix.
Hopefully, we'll see a lot more of me.
We will.
Stay tuned.
Thanks, Polly.
You're the best.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, you're the best.